because who relates to 4 basis points return in a day? One thing you're going to notice, uh, geometric average is less than the arithmetic average. That will always be true. Okay? Independent of what sort of returns you have, geometric average will always be less than. This basically says, and let me calculate the year for that effect. Just copy. Let me move it here. And I'm going to do the same thing for the arithmetic average. And these are year, not APR, year. So the effective annual rate of, again, I didn't worry about different holding period returns, so I'm not, it doesn't matter too much anyway. And effective annual return of the arithmetic average is 18%, and geometric average, effective annual return of the geometric average is 15%. 15% is a more reliable number to evaluate performance of that portfolio over those 98 years, or almost 98 years, 97 and a half. Why? Because it basically says you started with $1 and you kept that portfolio. What would you have made? We just converted that into an annual term. Okay, that's all we've done. That is more of a portfolio return. Nobody makes the arithmetic average return. That's, if I picked one of these days randomly, on average, what would have my return be converted into effective annual return? So don't ever compare portfolios based on their arithmetic average returns. Always compare them based on their geometric average returns and convert them to effective annual returns so that you could make apples to apples comparisons. The trouble is, Excel does not have a function for geometric average returns. There is a function that calculates geometric mean or geometric average of a set of numbers, but that's not true for returns. Technically, what we're doing with returns is we calculate the geometric average of 1 plus the returns, okay? Then deduct 1. Excel function, the name of that function is geomean. It doesn't actually calculate that. So we're gonna, one of the reasons I wanted to do VBA for this class, I actually want to write a function to calculate the geometric average return by simply giving it the individual returns. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. Developer, Visual Basic. Well, I'm going to copy these guys back to this. Come on. So that I don't have to refer to the personal Excel book. Let's do a function, geometric average return. I return as range. So all I have to do is give it a range. Range is basically a collection of Excel cells. It doesn't have to be contiguous. You can have multiple stuff. And for now, I'm going to write this function as if it's just either one column or one row. Later at home, I'll make an adjustment where your returns may live in different parts. Okay. But for now, to keep it simple and not to bore you guys with too much programming stuff, I'm going to treat it as if it's just everything is in one column. So let's do some local variables. Dim IRO is long. Long means long integer. It supports integers up to plus or minus 2 billion or so. Okay. First, I'm going to get end row, and that's my I return dot rows dot count. That immediately tells me how many rows are there in this range that I provided. Then I'm gonna do for. Oh, let me get it started first. Geometric average equals 0. Average return. So in this block, it's going to repeat the calculations I'm going to tell it to do that many times. Okay. Let's do another local. Then I read as double. Actually, I'm going to make that variant because we're going to ignore any row that is either empty or it has non-numerical characters. Sometimes, every once in a while, you have that. Maybe for those days, return didn't exist. You just left it blank. You don't want the program to crap out because of that. That means those cells may have data that is not just double precision real numbers. That's why you say variant. It takes a little bit more space in memory, but we're going to do it only for one, so it doesn't matter too much. If I declare 25,000 variants, that increases the overhead. But in modern computers, even that's not too much. But when it's millions, it starts being an issue. First, I'm going to grab the IRETs. I return dot cells IRO 1. That's value. That means grab that range I return, go to cell, let's say I row is 1. Go to first row, grab the first column. I mean, I'm assuming it has one column anyway, but if your range had multiple columns, we could have handled that too. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Dim and call as long, and we will say dim J call And we're going to do a double loop. And let's make sure that, let's get this to I return dot columns that count. So I grabbed the number of rows and number of columns of the range that was provided to the program. Then I'm going to loop for each row and within each row for each column.